Hey everybody, this is Brandon Cousins coming back to you with another video. Hit like and subscribe. Also, just want to remind you that we want to help you. If you want more information, go to brandoncousinslmft.com. Okay, so in our videos, we've been talking about doing more. Today, we want to talk about how to battle fear and what the ins and outs of it are. Because a lot of times, like we talked about in the last video, motivation tends to be something that we need, but if we have fear, that keeps us from breaking through motivation. So I have some practical steps I want to walk through today that maybe can help you, and then we'll talk through some other things. So if you've watched my past two videos and you want to get unstuck, but you have fear and anxiety and worry, or just plain apathy or lack of motivation, this video is for you. We want you to get motivated, but if you don't have motivation, part of that might be because of anxiety, worry, fear, just not being able to bring yourself to do whatever it is that you want to do. So I want you to keep watching to understand how to get unstuck and get a few pointers on how to break through when fear is the issue, or anxiety or worry. So just tell you a little bit about a story of mine. When I started doing these videos, I did it because we were, again, I think I said this last time, we had hurricanes come through, things were crazy, and I just wanted to do more with my life. And I think that's part of what I'm encouraging y'all to do is you only have one life to live. You have 70 years, 80 years, maybe less, maybe more, but most of us only have about 60 to 80 years, and I'm 40. So I want to make the last 20, 30, 40 years of my life the best they can be, have a huge impact. I want to be able to give back to others. So that's what this video is about. And so one of the things that I want to do today is talk about how I struggle with fear and anxiety and worry and what I do about it. And then as a therapist, how I help others, or as a coach, how I help others. So if you want that, that's where I want you to stay tuned and listen. And I know I'm not the best speaker or YouTuber. I just got started, so give me a little bit of grace and help me, encourage me to keep going and do better on all my videos. So, and I think the more I do it, the more comfortable I get, the more relaxed I'll get. I feel like I'm getting more relaxed already. So, but that's kind of what I want to tell you. The story about what I'm doing more. I'm doing more by doing more videos. That was my one thing that I'm working on. Now, there are other things in my life that I'm trying to do more on, but this one, I made a plan. I committed to it. I'm sticking to it. So this is my third video in 2.5 weeks. I obviously didn't do a consecutive video. This one is the second one I've done in like 3 days. So the one before that was 2 weeks before the last one. But the reason, I already kind of talked about the reason, is things just got a little crazy with our life and our plans, and I hadn't been able to get back to it. But now I'm going to try to be consistent with it. So do more, as in giving more information, working hard on helping others out. With helping, the least I can do is give you ways to improve on yourself so you can do more. That's how I'm going to do more. And so I'm giving you this information today. So the story about fear for me that keeps me stuck, like I didn't want to do this necessarily. I don't want to be on camera. There's a lot of reasons. We'll go over the common ways that fear holds us back and ways that the reasons for fear, like why people fear doing things. And one of mine is a fear of failure and fear of rejection. Like I don't want people to get on here and see like, oh, he don't know what he's talking about or things like that. I want to feel like I'm helping people and not feel like I'm kind of bad at what I'm doing. So I also don't want to fail on this. I want to succeed. I want to see success. Otherwise, that hurts motivation. So we want to talk about some ways to help with that. I have other things that I have fear in too. So I might share some more of those stories. But the things that hold you back are fear. Fear is one of the things. And the way fear holds you back are kind of the 3 ways that fear holds you back. Or you have fear of failure. And so I kind of got some things written down here. Fear is, let's actually talk about the difference between fear, anxiety, and worry first. Fear tends to be a response to something that's right in front of you that is a clear and present danger, if we want to put it that way. Like, it's true that this thing's going to hurt me. If I jump off a building or a bridge, bungee jumping, there's actual fear that I could die. Now, there might be some anxiety and worry there too, so they kind of come together. Anxiety tends to be more about the imagined outcome. So it probably isn't real in the moment, and we're not faced with that present danger right then. And then worry is kind of the same thing. I think you can say worry and anxiety are more alike than fear. So fear is kind of real, anxiety is imagined. You kind of want to ask yourself, what's the real threat? So the three types of fear are like fear of failure, fear of rejection, and fear of the unknown that tend to hold us back from doing more. And so fear of failure, this is perhaps the most universal fear. I think we all have it in some sense. We don't like to fail. We like to succeed. So failing can feel like a reflection of our own worth, but it's actually just a natural part of growth. So we want to think about failure as something that is just a natural part of life. Think of any successful person. Most of them have had failure, and they actually look at failure. If you watch videos of them, they look at failure as a way to grow, and they actually look at failure as part of their success. So they likely failed many times, but they've learned from each stumble. By giving into this fear, we miss out on the growth that comes from making mistakes and gaining resilience. Sorry, y'all, I'm about to sneeze. Excuse me. This is live and real. I'm not going to edit it, so I'm sorry about that if that hurts your ears. Fear of rejection. This fear is deeply rooted in our desire for acceptance. And we all want to be accepted. We all want to be known. We want to be a part of a group. And when we get rejected, we don't have that opportunity. So we're trying to look good. We're trying to not make mistakes because we want people to accept us. We're social creatures, and being part of a group feels safe, so we like safety. But this can also mean we hesitate to express our true thoughts or take actions that go against the grain. And sometimes that even means we'll be dishonest. So if you're coming to my website or through my newsletter because you've been dishonest, maybe that's part of it. You fear rejection or you fear failure. You're lying because of these things. And we can talk more about that in future videos. We also might be avoiding rejection. It might mean we miss out on sharing valuable insights, asking for what we deserve, or connecting with people who truly resonate with us. So the thing about fear of rejection is like we may miss out on a connection or relationship. Think about when you were in school or any time, like some older people who aren't married, they want to date someone, or they see someone they think is pretty, or they may want to meet. They feel a fear of rejection, so they don't go and actually talk to the person or start up a conversation or ask them questions. So they miss out on the opportunity to have a relationship. And I think that's really important. Like, we miss out on so much because of fear. Fear holds us back. And it has a cost. The fear of unknown, let's talk about that, and then we go to some other stuff. When we step into uncharted territories, we don't know what to expect. The fear of unknown. This uncertainty is enough to keep many of us from trying something new, But ironically, growth happens precisely when we're uncomfortable. That tends to be a truism, right? The unknown isn't just scary, it's where potential learning and excitement lies. So we're trying to figure out, there's this balance between healthy fear and unhealthy fear. Now, the Bible talks about fear in two different ways. And one of the ways that it talks about fear is the awe of God, or kind of giving. Well, we're thinking about God as like bigger, and this idea that we can't be more than Him, so we need to be in awe of Him. But it also talks about fear that can hurt us and cause us to get stuck and cause us not to do God's will, and that's not good either. So, but it has this tension between fear and love, fear and trusting God. So we want to make sure we understand that, and maybe that'll be a more deeper thing we go into other videos. One of the things that I want to go into is the cost of fear. Fear is an enemy. It's beating you. It's hurting you. And when we talk about anxiety and worry, it's the same thing. It's hurting you. It's not helping you. It's imagined thought process of what might potentially happen. And that's kind of what we're really referring to in this, is what's keeping you stuck, is you have this imagined thought process of what might happen, and it's beating you. It's not helping you. Is anytime you've had an anxiety or worry or negative thing, did you ever have a good outcome? Probably not. So what are you going to do with that? Are you going to keep going down the same vein of thinking? Again, I know it's hard to sometimes stop certain thought processes because it seems so real. But this is where we're going to look at some steps and the proactive steps you can take to hopefully overcome the anxiety and the worry and the fear. Okay. So living in a constant state of what if can result in profound regret. Avoiding risk to sidestep temporary discomfort keeps us from taking the steps that lead to fulfillment. The cost can be stagnation in our careers, our relationships, our personal goals, and we kind of let fear make our decisions for us. They lead us and can turn into bad things, right? We miss out on opportunities and unfulfilled potential. What do you want for your life? I'm talking about doing more. Who can you become? But fear will stop that. Anxiety will stop that. And we can't let it beat us. The cost of anxiety, worry, and fear is that we get beat. We don't win. We're not successful. Okay, let's talk about some practical steps to overcome fear. There's a term in psychology called repeated exposure. And there's a story that an author told about her having fear, and she went to the beach with some of her friends, and she got into the ocean where she said, I don't do oceans. And you may know who this is based on the quotes that I'm giving you. Lisa Turkish, I don't know how you say her name, Lisa Turkish, but she talked about how she doesn't do oceans, and she decided that day that she would get in the surf, and then she would stay in the surf. So she overcame her fear, but she didn't go all the way in the ocean, but she started somewhere. So the first practical step is start small. Start small, do something, right? On this video, I just set up the video and press record. Press record is easy. It's boop, 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 press record. Yep, it wasn't that hard, but I started somewhere. Now I'm having to go through it. It's videoing me, and I'll have to upload it and all that stuff, but I'm starting somewhere. Start small. Same thing with exercise. You don't just go out and run a marathon in a day. Everything takes building blocks and foundations, so we want to start somewhere. I need to go out and walk today for half a mile, and then the next day for half a mile, and the next day a mile, and then build up. But we got to start somewhere. Just walk out the door to go walk, to exercise. Drive to the gym. All these things, small building blocks create success over time. Don't jump into the deep end right away. Begin with taking small, manageable risks to gradually build confidence. I talk about repeated exposure in psychology. The idea is like when you're traumatized, let's say you fear a snake, you're not going to go touch that snake and grab it and hold it and pick it up right away, but you can stand in the same room as it. And then you can get a little bit closer over time and a little bit closer over time, and then maybe you're standing right next to a person who's holding the snake. And the next day you do the same, and the next day you do the same, and then one day you touch the snake. And then eventually, through building confidence because of the successive measures you've taken over time and expose yourself more and more and gain confidence around it, you overcome your fear and you reach your goal, right? Maybe you want to hold a snake, but I don't know who would want to hold a snake. Some people do. I can, but I wouldn't want to do it all the time. I'm not one of those people. So, but you want to start small. Each small step forward weakens the fear grip, the grip of fear. Okay? So start small. The second step, so first start small. Second step, see failure differently. Reframe it in your mind. Think about it differently. Instead of seeing failure as an end point, view it as a stepping stone. It helps you with success. Think about the idea that if you fail and you can figure out why you failed, now it's less likely you're going to fail next time because you know what not to do. So the goal isn't to avoid failure, but to learn from it. Remember, every successful person has their fair share of failures. And that's okay. That's part of life. That's how we learn, right? Third step, what does winning look like? Visualize the win, the success. Close your eyes. What would it look like to reach that goal? Spend time visualizing, but in a positive way, not a negative. Push out the negative. Our brains respond to these images, making us more likely to feel capable and ready to face challenges. So, sorry, I need something to drink. So visualize it. If you don't know where you're going, how you're going to get there. You want to know what it looks like if you can. And then finally, fourth, we want to stop stinking thinking. I've used this, I've heard this a lot. I've used it with my son. Stop stinking thinking. Challenge your negative thoughts. Your thoughts are holding you back. There's so many Bible verses and so many quotes out there about how your thoughts hurt you and how you can change them. Everything begins with a thought. Your choices begin with a thought. Are you going to let your thoughts beat you? Or are you going to let your thoughts dictate what you choose to do? Stop thinking. Challenge your negative thoughts. When fear-driven thoughts arise, question their validity. Are they rational? Or are they exaggerated what-ifs? By confronting these thoughts, we can prevent them from taking control. So we want to make sure we do that. Let me see, I looked up this earlier. Where is it? Sorry, y'all. I want to go back to worry for a minute. We can let worry beat us, but even the Bible talks about how you shouldn't worry. It says, take every thought captive and make it obedient to Christ. Well, worry is a thought that hurts you. We want to stop that thought. We want to be disciplined with that. Anytime you start worrying about something, we want to stop it. Why? Because the Bible tells you why. It says, therefore I tell you, do not worry. This is Matthew 6, 25 through, let's just say 29 or 30, 34 if you want to go that far. It says, therefore I tell you, do not worry about your life, what you will eat or drink, or about your body, what you will wear. Is not life more than food, and the body more than clothes? Look at the birds of the air. They do not sow or reap or store away in barns, and yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not much more valuable than they? Can any one of you, by worrying, add a single hour to your life? You're wasting time. And I can't sit here and say that I haven't done it. I worry all the time, and I need to deal with it. So this is as much for me to learn and grow as you. And so that's part of the reason why I'm doing the videos. I'm trying to learn. It causes me to study. It causes me to think about these things. It causes me to repeat them. So the best form of learning is teaching. It says, and why do you worry about clothes? See how the flowers of the field grow? They do not labor or spin. Yet I tell you that not even Solomon in all his splendor was dressed like one of these. If that is how God clothes the grass of the field, which is here today and tomorrow is thrown into the fire, will he not much more clothe you, you of little faith? So do not worry, saying, what shall I eat? Or what shall we drink? Or what shall we wear? For the pagans run after all these things. You're not a pagan, are you? And even if you don't believe in God, that's fine. I hope you will come to that. But for now, that's not what this video is about. But the reality is, worry is hurtful. Anxiety is hurtful. It doesn't get you your goals. Do you want to be stuck? Therefore, do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough of its troubles. So if we're going back to my tips that I'm encouraging you on, start small. It doesn't have to, it can be a push of a button like I did today. See failure differently. Reframe it. Change it in your head. And then visualize, what does winning look like? What can you do? What would it mean for you to be successful? And then stop thinking those negative thoughts. They're not helping you. Let's put them away. The Bible says, take every thought captive and make it obedient to Christ. And then another verse says, whatever's true, whatever's right, whatever's good, whatever's excellent, think on such things. So can you write down some things that are true and excellent and right and good? Make a gratitude list. Sometimes we're just struggling with our emotions and we are feeling hopeless. And that's another video. But for now, if you're stuck, try these 4 steps. Finally, I want you to embrace courage and not perfection. Remember, courage isn't about being fearless. It's about taking action despite fear. When we stop letting fear dictate our lives, we open ourselves to endless possibilities. So next time fear rears its head, ask yourself, what's on the other side of this feeling? You might be surprised by what you find. Embrace this approach, y'all, and you'll be amazed at how your life and opportunities expand. I just want to encourage you. If you need more help, go to my website again, BrandonCousinsLMFT.com. You can sign up for coaching with me, and you can read my blogs. You can email me. You can sign up for my newsletter, which I'm trying to get going a little more often here also. So I'm just trying to build on top of this. But, y'all, don't let fear hold you back. Don't let fear hold you back. You can do more. You can be something in your life. You can be something for God. God did not create you to be nothing. He created you to be something. So let's see what you can become, okay? Take care, y'all. Have a good afternoon, and God bless.